Discover the incredible moment a black waitress danced with a disabled boy hidden billionaire. In the heart of a small Midwestern town, where laughter echoed through cracked sidewalks and nostalgia hung like smoke in the summer air, a miracle was brewing at Molly's Diner. Jessica, a devoted waitress with an infectious smile, worked tirelessly amidst the greasy tables and clattering dishes. Her life revolved around her 10-year-old son Eli, a spirited boy who loved dinosaurs and art but faced daily challenges with cerebral palsy. Despite the mounting bills and the economic hardship that weighed heavily on their community, Jessica never let her struggles dim her spirit. Every time she approached a table, Eli's drawings folded neatly in her apron, she brought a sparkle of hope along with the steaming plates of meatloaf and mashed potatoes. "Hey, Mr. Thompson. Here's your favorite pie." Her warm presence delighted everyone in town, creating bonds that ran deeper than the troubles outside. As summer approached, the town buzzed with anticipation for the annual fair, a cherished tradition meant for joy but often felt like a spotlight on the town's divisions. To families like Jessica's, it amplified the longing to belong, particularly for Eli, whose wheelchair gently rolled across the weathered floors. The carefree laughter of children outside made him ache for companionship. Jessica noticed it in his eyes, the way they held a storm of feelings he couldn't articulate, a sea of mixed hope and sadness. In those moments, she vowed to create joy, to turn the tide of loneliness into waves of connection. "Eli, how about we get ready to dance?" she said, her heart set on the fair. As the day arrived, she could see the flutter of excitement painted across town. She hoped Eli could feel it too. That evening, the fairground glowed with promises of laughter, lights twinkling like stars. Families gathered, their worries momentarily forgotten. Jessica, holding Eli's hand with love, led him to the dance floor. As the music flowed, she began to twirl and sway, casting aside every fear and frustration. The sight was enchanting, a mother dancing freely with her son, radiating joy. Laughter rippled across the crowd as people joined in, each step breaking invisible chains of divide. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Eli smiled, his laughter echoed like a sweet melody, uniting the community. Yet, amidst the joy, whispers slithered through the shadows. Why should she deserve that moment? A voice questioned, heavy with judgment. Despite their struggles, Jessica had dared to claim happiness, igniting envy in some hearts, casting her as both a beacon and a target. But that's when fate stepped in. Watching the scene unfold from afar, a hidden billionaire felt his heart squeeze with emotion. He remembered his own childhood ties to hardship. Drawn by the connection and love he witnessed between Jessica and Eli, he stepped forward, prepared to unveil a history that could change everything. As the crowd swelled with anticipation, Jessica faced a choice: defend her joy against the waves of criticism or seize a chance to uplift her family and community. The air thickened around them, the town stood on the brink of transformation. What price would she pay to change their lives for good? The next chapter awaited, pulled taut with potential. The music swelled, wrapping around the crowd like a warm embrace. Jessica felt the energy hum in her bones, the joyous commotion lifting her heart. The dance had become a shining moment, a bridge to connect not just her with Eli, but everyone around them. For just a fleeting instant, worries seemed to be washed away in the rhythm of the night. Eli's face glowed with delight, his laughter harmonizing with the cheerful tunes that spilled from the speakers. Jessica twirled him, each spin igniting sparks of joy that danced between them. But just as the moment reached its peak, the shadow of doubt crept in. The hostile whispers lingered, darkening the edges of her happiness. Jessica glanced around, catching the glances of some townsfolk who wore expressions torn between envy and admiration. "Look at them," one mother murmured to her friend, eyes narrowing. "Why does she think she deserves this?" Jessica felt her heart clench. It pierced through the joy like a cold wind, but she steeled herself. Her eyes moved back to Eli, whose radiant smile pushed away the doubt. He had fought battles every day, they both deserved this moment of pure happiness, didn't they? She inhaled deeply, grounding herself in the love she felt swirling between them. "You're doing great, buddy," she cheered, her voice chipper and bright, as if she could drown out the negativity hanging in the air. Eli beamed back, his enthusiasm bolstering her resolve. "Let us take this floor." She grinned, pulling him closer for another spin, choosing joy over judgment. And just then, the billionaire made his entrance, blending into the background with purposeful stealth. He stood there, captivated, the scene drawing him closer. Memories of his own struggles bubbled up, days spent longing to belong, moments filled with laughter that contrasted sharply against an upbringing steeped in hardship. The hidden treasure in his heart felt awakened, urging him to act. What if he could turn this brief joy into something lasting? He approached Jessica and Eli, each step heavy with meaning. "Excuse me," he said, his voice steady but kind, cutting through the fabric of the surrounding chatter. Jessica and Eli turned, their dancing interrupted. She blinked, unsure what to expect. "I couldn't help but notice, this wonderful bond you share," he continued, a warm smile softening his words. "I'm here because I believe in creating moments that matter, and what I saw tonight moved me." People around began to whisper, curiosity swirling through the crowd. Jessica felt a rush of hope mingling with caution. Did this man truly want to help? Could he be different from the voices that judged her? "I'd like to discuss assisting you, Jessica," he said, his gaze earnest. "To give you and Eli the opportunity to embrace life fully. To share your gifts with the world." Jessica's heart raced with the flood of possibilities while the whispers grew louder, disbelief etched on faces. The warmth of hope battled against the icy skepticism. "What should I say?" she thought, glancing at Eli, who looked back wide-eyed, filled with a mix of excitement and confusion. Before she could respond, the crowd's mood shifted, curiosity fueling a newfound energy. The fair was alive with chatter. Questions swirled. What would this mean for Jessica and Eli? How would this connection unfold? Jessica stood at a crossroads, filled with fear and possibility. The tiny moments of triumph felt like weight on her shoulders. She could feel the weight of the town's hope and judgment pressing in. She knew she had a choice to make. Her voice wavered when she finally asked, "What do you want from us?" The billionaire's eyes sparkled with integrity. "Just the chance to support you. Whatever path you choose." As the crowd waited with bated breath, Jessica felt her heart pounding like a drum, echoing with a choice that could change everything. Would she summon the courage to accept help, to challenge the whispers and embrace the chance for something greater? What awaited her at the other end of this leap? The night wasn't over, and every second felt like the pulse of destiny knocking at her door. Jessica's palms were clammy, her breath coming in shallow bursts. The weight of the moment pressed on her chest like a lead blanket. She looked over at Eli, whose eyes sparkled with mischief and innocence, as if he didn't quite grasp the magnitude of the choice laid before them. It was just a conversation, but it felt so much larger. A chance for dreams, for acceptance, for something different than the life they'd known. "Why would you want to help us?" she finally managed to ask, her voice steadier than she felt. "What's in it for you?" The billionaire's smile didn't falter. "I see potential," he said simply. "It's that straightforward. You and Eli share a joy that many people spend their lives searching for. I want to help you nurture that. To grow. But the decision is yours." Murmurs rippled through the crowd like a tide, and Jessica's eyes narrowed, searching the faces around her. Some looked skeptical, others hopeful. The voices from earlier surged back into her mind, taunting her with their disdain. She'd heard them all her life, the whispers of self-doubt, the doubts of others echoing louder than her own voice. But she sensed something different in this man. Was it sincerity she saw, or just the gleam of wealth promising to transform her life in unexpected ways? And if I say yes? She dared to ask, clutching Eli's small hand tightly. Then we explore opportunities together. We make plans for you both to create, to inspire. I'll be your ally, your supporter. Imagine what you can do, he replied, eyes shining with excitement. Jessica's heart danced to a different set of rhythms, mixing a heady cocktail of fear and hope. What if this was a trick? What if it was genuine? Her mind raced with images of painting classes, music lessons, and laughter echoing in new places. She could see Eli's smile grow wider, his joy spilling over like sunlight. But I have to think about him, she breathed, looking down. He's more than just a project. He's my whole world. I understand, the billionaire said softly. It's not a project. It's life. And sometimes, life offers us a hand when we least expect it. Will you take it? Jessica closed her eyes, centering herself. She could feel the crowd's energy shift, like a collective intake of breath. They were all waiting, all invested in her decision. But deep down, one truth emerged through the storm of thoughts: Eli deserved everything. They both did. She opened her eyes and looked at Eli. He was bouncing on his toes, mouth open in an eager smile, searching her face for guidance. Okay, she said, shakingly at first, then with more conviction. Let us see where this goes. The crowd erupted into gasps and whispers, a flurry of emotions swirling around them. Eli squealed with delight, his joy contagious. Jessica felt a warmth bloom in her chest, a small flicker of optimism cutting through the fog of uncertainty. The billionaire extended his hand, palm up, inviting her into a partnership grounded in something deeper than mere charity. Jessica bit her lip, contemplating the leap of faith she was about to take. But the murmurs around them hadn't died down. What's her angle? Someone scoffed. What a publicity stunt. The colored lights from the fair painted their faces in bright hues, but Jessica felt the shadows still looming, the judgment lingering like thick fog. Would they ever truly accept her, with or without help? Or would their whispers only grow louder? She felt the billionaire's steady gaze on her, an anchor amidst the chaos. Holding Eli's hand tighter, she took a deep breath and closed the space between them. Tell me more, she replied, focusing on the future, ready to shape her dreams even if it meant battling the town's subtly creeping shadows. The night had shifted, the air crackled with possibilities, but Jessica felt that she was also standing on the brink of scrutiny. What would it take to silence the voices that doubted her? As the sounds of the fair pulsated around her, she realized there might be more to lose than just herself in this dance. What lay ahead was filled with uncharted territory, and one thing was certain: this was only the beginning. Jessica felt Eli's tiny fingers tighten around hers as the billionaire's hand hovered in the space between them. She took a moment to soak in the thrill of uncertainty mingled with possibility. The laughter of children riding the Ferris wheel echoed in the distance, mixing with the smell of cotton candy and popcorn wafting through the fairgrounds. It felt almost surreal. Are you ready? The billionaire asked, his voice low and sincere. She wasn't just ready. She was terrified. Jessica glanced at Eli, whose face radiated pure happiness. It tugged at her heart. How could she deny him a chance at something greater? But doubt crept in like an unwelcome shadow. Can you promise, she began, pausing to find the words, that this isn't just about publicity or some sort of showcase? I won't use Eli as a prop. He means everything to me. The billionaire nodded, his expression serious. I promise it will be about empowerment, not exploitation. There's a difference between helping and showcasing. My only interest is to help you find your way." Eli tugged at her sleeve, eager to be a part of the conversation. "Mom, let us go with him. It sounds fun." He bounced up and down, his bright blue eyes wide with hope. And just like that, the moment unraveled from all its heaviness. Jessica wanted to laugh, to scream out in joy, but something still held her back. Every ounce of her was telling her to proceed with caution. Suddenly, the crowd around them felt suffocating, like they were closing in with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. "What do you think, Jess?" the billionaire asked, sensing her hesitation. In that split second, the cacophony of the fair faded behind her, and she felt as if she were suspended in time. She thought of the nights spent worrying about bills and the constant worry about making ends meet. In the dim light, she remembered the summer afternoons they spent painting their old fence in bright colors, Eli laughing and splattering paint with joy. She thought of the sacrifices, the dreams delayed. "Okay," Jessica finally said, her voice trembling but strong. "Let us see where this takes us." The billionaire's smile widened, a genuine spark lighting up his face. He clasped her hand, pulling her into a world she had only dared to dream about. The crowd erupted in a mixture of murmurs and applause, people turning to witness this unfolding scenario half bewildered, half intrigued. As they began to walk through the fair, Eli eagerly ran ahead, his laughter spilling like music behind them. The lights twinkled overhead, and for the first time in a long while, Jessica felt a glimmer of hope stitching itself into her heart. Perhaps this was more than just a chance encounter, perhaps it was the lifeline she had been desperately searching for. "First, we'll start with art classes for Eli," the billionaire explained animatedly, the enthusiasm in his voice bright. "I've got connections with some of the best artists in the city." Imagine the way he'll express himself. Jessica listened, envisioning all the possibilities. The vibrant strokes of paint across canvases, the joy in Eli's eyes as he discovered new passions. But lingering fears nudged at her. This was a huge jump. Would it really translate to something real, or would it dissolve like fog in the morning sun? "Just remember, you have control," the billionaire reminded her, sensing her internal struggle. "You direct the journey." Ahead, Eli was climbing onto a game booth, promising to bring home a prize for his mom. Jessica relaxed a little. The warmth of his joy made her heart swell. Was she ready to let go of her fears enough to embrace this adventure? As they reached Eli, poised with determination and glee, Jessica took a deep breath. She wanted nothing more than to protect her son and give him the world, but what did that look like in this new world unfolding before them? And just as she let herself dream, she heard whispers rear their ugly heads again. "She's just using him, they won't last." Pushing the negativity aside, Jessica shook her head. She wouldn't let those voices dictate her path. "Not now. What do I need to know?" she asked, glancing back at the billionaire, her voice clear and steady. He met her gaze, eyes glinting with possibility. "Only that love can drive any dream forward, yours and Eli's." As they stepped into the crowd, Jessica felt something shift within her, a newfound resolve. The journey was just beginning, but one question lingered: how far would she go to protect their dreams from the expectations of others? Eli squealed in delight as he fought to win a plush bear at the game booth. The vendor watched him with a chuckle, nudging Jessica with a knowing smile. She couldn't recall the last time they had done something so carefree and fun. The carnival lights pinpricked the dusk, swaying with every little triumph Eli scored at the game. Each time he won a ball or a dart toss, Jessica's heart fluttered with pride. She wanted nothing more than to hold on to this moment, this laughter-filled bubble. "Look, Mom. I can do it!" Eli exclaimed, determination glimmering in his eyes. The billionaire stood behind Jessica, watching them. She noticed how he watched Eli with genuine interest, his focus unwavering, as if the three of them were the only ones in that dazzling fairground. But even in this joyful chaos, the whispers echoed in her mind, insisting she remain vigilant. She needed to protect Eli, to shield him from the extremely wealthy and sometimes cruel world they were stepping into. The billionaire's promises were like cotton candy, sweet and airy but with the potential to evaporate into nothing. "Do you really think he has talent?" she asked, turning back to the billionaire. His expression softened, and he nodded. "I believe he does. He's got a spark." There was sincerity in his voice, it was almost contagious. She couldn't help but feel a flutter of hope, the edges of her fear softening just a bit. Still, that fear was deep-rooted. She thought of the time when Eli was bullied at school for being different, and how she had fought for him, wrestled with the principal, and made sure he was protected. Too much was at stake now to let herself get swept away in daydreams. "What if he fails?" she blurted out. "Then we pick him back up and help him try again," the billionaire responded, his tone unwavering. "But I don't think he will fail. And neither will you, Jess." Jessica felt something shift inside her at the sound of her name on his lips, her heart skipping in unfamiliar rhythms. She ripped her gaze away, not wanting to acknowledge whatever connection was brewing beneath the surface of their brief encounters. Eli's laughter floated through the air again. He triumphantly hoisted the stuffed bear, his face beaming brighter than any carnival light. Watching her son gleefully clutch the prize, Jessica's chest tightened. "You're amazing, buddy," she shouted, beaming with pride. But as Eli turned to her, eyes sparkling, the crowd around them felt like they were subtly shifting, their glances growing increasingly inquisitive, more uncomfortable as they realized who was with them. Jessica felt like a bug under a microscope. The billionaire rubbed his hand reassuringly on her back, and she leaned into it for a second, a moment of unintentional vulnerability. Then it hit her, she was standing beside a man capable of opening doors she'd only peered at in dreams. Yet, was comfort a trade-off for her son's authenticity? "Let us head to that art tent over there," Eli suggested, pointing excitedly. The tent shimmered, painted in warm colors that reflected the joy it promised. Jessica hesitated, balancing between excitement and fear. They both followed Eli's footsteps, the billionaire behind them still, his silhouette a protecting presence. As they approached, a small crowd was already gathering. Outside, children were creating vibrant art pieces, their happy mess mirroring Eli's happiness inside. Art was raw, it was blissful chaos. But would it swallow them whole? As Eli began to explore, Jessica's heart raced. She glanced back at the billionaire, who caught her eye with a nod, silently promising her that he wouldn't let them down. But what if he did? What if this glittering world shattered their simple joys? "Mom!" Eli's voice cut through the haze, pulling her back into the moment. He held out a paintbrush, eyes wide with anticipation. "Look! I want to create." In that instant, Jessica saw not just Eli's eagerness, but the opportunity for them both. It might not be about glitter or fame, maybe, just maybe, it was about the act of creating their new journey together. Yet, as she took the brush in hand, something tightened in her chest. Standing on the precipice of this leap, she questioned if she could truly free her heart enough to let him fly. What if the fall was too painful? "No matter what happens," she whispered to Eli, "let us just hold on to each other." And as Eli dipped his brush into a pot of bright blue paint, Jessica felt the winds of change blowing. Did she dare to dream this new dream? Little did she know, the complexities of their new path were only beginning to unfold, and a startling revelation was waiting just around the corner. Jessica watched as Eli boldly approached the canvas. With each bold stroke of his brush, the bright blue paint melted into the other colors, creating a swirling masterpiece. The vibrant hues began to tell a story, his story, the one that danced on the edge of his youthful imagination. "Look at that!" Jessica smiled encouragingly, but inside, every brushstroke felt like a negotiation with her fears. Was it naive to believe in this moment? In this fairy tale where their lives might transform overnight? The doubt crept in again, that gnawing voice reminding her how quickly dreams could dissolve. But Eli was in another world, oblivious to anything besides the beauty he was creating. The laughter of other children surrounded him, vibrant and carefree, harmonizing with the pulsating music drifting from nearby rides. The scene was pure magic. Isn't this exciting? The billionaire's voice broke through her thoughts, and for a brief second, she surrendered to the hope lingering in the air. Yes, it really is, she replied, her heart fluttering at the sincerity in his gaze. Yet, the weight of her responsibilities pressed down harder. But what if it's just temporary? What happens when the reality sets in? The billionaire's eyes held hers for just a heartbeat longer than necessary. Life is temporary, Jess. The joy of it, the pain of it, all of it. We've got to embrace the moments we have, especially the good ones. His words sank deep and resonated with her. She wanted to believe that this chance, this wildly unpredictable journey, could unfold beautifully. Eli's laughter re-entered her mind, weaving through her insecurities. If he could create joy so effortlessly, why couldn't she? Eli turned to her, paint splatters upon his cheeks and an infectious grin stretching wide. Mom, you have to try. He implored, holding out another brush. I think you'll love it. Caught in his excitement, Jessica reached for the brush, recalling how delightfully messy creativity could be. As she dipped the tip into red paint, her fingers tingled with anticipation. She let herself think of the possibilities. What if this was a gateway for both of them? A chance for something greater than they ever imagined? With careful strokes, she began to paint beside Eli, matching his rhythm. Everything else faded away, the unsure glances, the whispers of discontent from earlier. In this moment, she was just a mother beside her son, building a bridge together. As the colors began to merge, she caught the notice of a woman watching, her brow furrowed. With disheveled hair and a polite smile, the woman stood with a mix of admiration and curiosity. But Jessica pushed aside the guilt starting to creep in again. Instead, she poured her heart into the paint, feeling lighter with each smear on the canvas. Mom! Look at us! Eli exclaimed, his eyes sparkling as they glanced from the canvas to her. We did it! There was sheer unadulterated joy in his voice that pulled at Jessica's heartstrings. In that moment, they were the center of their own universe, where love and creativity collided in a spectacular way. Yet it was interrupted by a quiet voice from the crowd. Aren't you worried about what other people think? Jessica froze, paintbrush hovering in midair as she turned to see who had spoken. It was a brand new voice, seemingly casual but carrying the weight of a question that could shatter everything. How do you cope? The woman continued, a hint of uncertainty flickering in her eyes, as if searching for affirmation or perhaps a reason to reject her own concerns. The question lingered in the air. Jessica felt her heart race. Did she have the answer? Could she really stand up and voice the truth of their happiness? Or would the shadows swirl back in and cloud their radiant moment? Before she could answer, Eli broke free, his loud voice cutting through the noise. I just love painting with my mom. That's what matters. Jessica's heart soared at his innocent confidence. And just like that, the doubts began to scatter, chased away by the brilliance of a child who could capture hope like it was a fleeting butterfly. But would the admiration or the scrutiny from others change how they felt about each other, about this beautiful painting of life? As the crowd shifted, a part of Jessica felt the wave of uncertainty loom closer. What truths awaited them in the uncharted waters of connections with this new world? For a moment, she stood still, the brush gripped tightly in her hand. Their journey had just begun. What lay beyond the paint and laughter? And before Jessica could fully gather her thoughts, she felt a pull at her heart, a change rippling beneath the joyful surface. Was it just a fleeting moment of bliss, or something more? Jessica's heart beat a little faster as she took a breath, the weight of uncertainty mixing with the vibrant colors on the canvas. She glanced around and noticed the crowd was shifting, some people watching in admiration while others exchanged whispers. Eli's laughter rang out again, bringing her back to the present. "Come on, Mom. Let us finish our masterpiece," he urged, pulling her focus back to their creation. His enthusiasm lit up her world, a beacon amidst swirling doubts. She dipped the brush again, this time using bold streaks of yellow, mixing it with the blue. "I'm coming, buddy," she said, smirking as she splashed a little paint on his cheek. A moment of fun and mischief, it felt liberating. Then Eli giggled, retaliating with a flick of his own brush, painting a streak of orange across her arm. In that instant, the world around them blurred. The distant hum of the fair, the murmurs of onlookers, it all faded as if it was just the two of them anchored in a whirlwind of colors and laughter. Their laughter entwined as much as the paint on the canvas, binding them tighter in that beautiful moment of connection. Then the woman from earlier stepped closer, a curious look in her eyes. "You really seem to enjoy this," she said, her voice softening. "How do you find the courage to just express yourselves like this?" Jessica paused, Eli's joyful chaos ringing in her ears. She reflected on the question and felt a sudden urge to share. "You know," she began slowly, trying to articulate the profound sense of liberation she felt, "sometimes you have to shed the fear of judgment. It's about feeling alive. Today, it's just us, the paint, and the joy." Eli nodded vigorously, eager and proud as if he were presenting her wisdom to the world. The woman smiled, her brow easing slightly. There was a flicker of understanding in her eyes. "That's beautiful," the woman responded, her voice barely above a whisper. "I wish I could feel that way." Jessica's heart ached for her, she sensed a longing tied deeply beneath the surface. "Am I as brave as Eli? Can I really embrace who I am without fear?" "It's okay to be scared," she said. "We all are sometimes. But painting? It feels like freedom. Just like dancing, if you let yourself go." The woman's expression transformed, a hesitant smile creeping onto her lips. Jessica could almost see her mind racing, envisioning possibilities outside her comfort zone. Understanding surged between them, connecting them as fellow souls searching for light. "Are you a dancer?" Eli chimed in, ever curious. The woman chuckled softly, a sound that felt both freeing and tender. "Not really. But I used to love it as a little girl." "Dance with me!" Eli exclaimed, abandoning the brush and holding out his hand. Jessica felt a wave of joy washing over her at his spontaneity. He turned to the crowd. "Who wants to dance?" An unexpected cheer erupted as some children began to mimic Eli's moves, their energetic spirit lifting the atmosphere. The woman hesitated but looked at Jessica, who silently encouraged her to take a leap. With a deep breath, the woman took a step forward, accepting Eli's outstretched hand. The two began to twirl, Eli giggling uncontrollably as the onlookers started to join in. Jessica laughed, her heart swelling with pride and warmth. She picked up the paintbrush again, capturing the energy on the canvas as if the colors were dancing with them. As the laughter rippled through the air, Jessica lost herself in the moment, each brushstroke revealing her progression. She painted not just for herself but for all of them, the children, the woman, and every dream that flickered beneath the surface. But amid the celebration, a shadow flickered in the back of Jessica's mind, the billionaire watching with a hint of something profound in his eyes. Did he see her? Did he understand the connection blossoming around her? And as the moment danced on, Jessica could feel it, an awakening. There was something more waiting just beyond the canvas, a truth deeper than she dared to imagine. What doors would this newfound courage open? And could she step through them? When Eli shouted, "This is just the beginning," she felt the weight of the world shift. What if the shadows of her past didn't have to dictate her future? Jessica's heart raced, ready for whatever came next. But lingering in the pit of her stomach was the question that wouldn't let go: what if the truth about herself was tied to this journey far more than she realized? Eli twirled with the woman, her laughter infectious as onlookers joined in, a sea of smiling faces lost in spontaneity. Jessica stepped back, paintbrush poised, a sense of purpose blooming. The canvas came alive with strokes of color, capturing their joy, the way every laugh blended into a beautiful symphony of life. But her heart still occasionally drifted to the figure at the edge of the crowd. The billionaire stood with arms crossed, his gaze unwavering. What was he thinking? Did he feel the energy bubbling around her? She shook her head, not wanting to dive too deep into speculation. Right now, it was about Eli and the laughter surrounding them. "Look, Mom. I'm a ballerina," Eli announced, striking a pose reminiscent of a graceful dancer. The crowd erupted into applause. Each cheer felt like fuel for Jessica, pushing her further into the moment. But then, just as the laughter peaked, the woman glanced back toward the billionaire, her smile faltering slightly. Jessica caught the shift, instinctively sensing the threads of doubt pulling them apart. "It's okay," she called, rallying to create a bubble of warmth again. "Dance like nobody's watching." The woman's laughter returned, and she took Eli's hand again, letting him lead her into another spin. Jessica watched them, her chest tightening with the understanding that freedom could simply mean letting go, no matter who was watching. "Can I paint you too?" she asked, voice ringing out above the cheers. "It'll be a dance of color." "Yeah, Mom," Eli yelled, still spinning. "Do it." The woman nodded, her face glowing, the fear dissipating like paint blending on the canvas. Jessica captured their movements, the brush gliding gracefully as if it danced itself. Vibrant swirls of orange and pink highlighted their joy, the sparkle in their eyes reflected in every stroke. As Jessica worked, the joyful energy rippled through her. She was painting more than just figures, she was creating a moment in time, a reminder that liberation lived within every heartbeat, every breath. When the chaos finally settled, a sense of calmness wrapped around her, almost like the comforting brush of paint against the canvas. But then a voice interrupted her focus. "Excuse me," came a deep timbre, smooth yet commanding. Jessica turned slowly, her breath hitching as she recognized the billionaire stepping closer. "That's incredible," he remarked, nodding toward her artwork. "You've captured something special here." "Thanks," she replied, unsure if she should feel flattered or guarded. It just felt right." He stepped closer, observing the canvas, the vibrant mix of colors swirling together. "You have a gift. This isn't just painting, it's emotion." Jessica felt warmth spread through her. Was there sincerity in his words? "I just wanted to embrace the moment. It's all about freedom, you know." He looked up sharply at that last word, his expression thoughtful. Freedom can be elusive in ways we don't even realize. They held each other's gaze, and Jessica felt the weight of something unspoken pass between them. It was as if he could see the layers beneath her, just like her brush revealed the depth of color layered on the canvas. "Care to share what that means?" she ventured, unsure why she felt compelled to keep the conversation alive. "Perhaps another time," he said, the hint of vulnerability visible before he masked it with a confident smile. "But I believe you're on the edge of something remarkable." And just like that, he shifted back into the crowd as if he were part of a dream fading away. Jessica blinked, trying to process the interaction, a spark of curiosity igniting inside her. What did he mean by that? Eli's voice broke through her thoughts. "Are you done, Mom? Let us show everyone our masterpiece." Jessica stepped back, taking in the painting, the laughter, the movement, the colors that felt alive. But somewhere in the depths of her heart, the question lingered: what did it truly mean to be free? With Eli pulling her along, she reluctantly let the moment slip into the background. But as she turned to the crowd again, a new determination burned within her. Somewhere deep inside, she knew the journey was just beginning. What discoveries awaited her in this dance of colors and emotions? And could she unravel the truth hidden beneath her own hesitant heart? The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the park. Jessica and Eli stood before the colorful masterpiece, a kaleidoscope of energy captured forever in paint. The laughter of children echoed around them, a gentle reminder of joy and innocence. Eli tugged at her sleeve. "Can we show everyone now?" he asked, his excitement bubbling over. There was an infectious light in his eyes that made her heart swell with pride. "Of course," she replied, kneeling down to his level. "Let us reveal it together." With a dramatic flourish, they pulled away the cloth covering the canvas. Gasps echoed through the crowd, followed by applause. The vibrant colors seemed to dance on the canvas, mirroring the laughter that had inspired them. "Look, Mom. They love it," Eli shouted, beaming with pride. Jessica's heart raced, but the thrill of success came with a whisper of uncertainty. The billionaire's words echoed in her mind. "You're on the edge of something remarkable." What did that really mean for her? The crowd gathered closer, pointing and discussing the painting. Jessica soaked in their reactions, but her eyes were drawn away, searching for the familiar form of the man who had stirred feelings deep within her. Then she felt a presence beside her. It was him. The billionaire stood again at a distance, framing her in his gaze with an intensity that sent butterflies fluttering in her stomach. "Beautiful work," he said, this time allowing a small smile to break through his usual stoic demeanor. "It feels alive." "Thanks," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "I just wanted to capture the moment." His eyes shimmered with a mixture of admiration and something else, perhaps curiosity. Moments like these, they remind us of our hearts, of the simplest joy in life. But they also make us question why we often hesitate to seize them. "What do you mean?" she questioned, her voice barely above a whisper. He glanced around, the crowd still enamored with the artwork. In a world of expectations, we sometimes forget how to really feel. Jessica's breath caught. She thought of her own hesitations, the fears that clung to her even in joyous moments. "Would you dance with us?" Eli piped in, still full of childlike wonder. The billionaire raised an eyebrow, a hint of amusement dancing across his features. "Dance? You mean like this?" Eli's laughter rang out, a sweet melody filled with pure joy. "Just dance." Jessica felt her heart race, a mixture of fear and exhilaration stirring her chest. Could she really let go, if only for a moment? "If you'll join us, I'll show you how to free your spirit," she said, a little bravado edging into her voice. He paused, then nodded. "All right. Show me." Eli jumped into action as the music playing in the park shifted to an upbeat tune. He grabbed both adults' hands, pulling them toward the center of the crowd. People began to cheer them on, the air saturated with excitement and anticipation. With one deep breath, Jessica felt everything fall away. She began to sway, allowing the rhythm to move through her. The billionaire joined in, albeit awkwardly, but with a touch of charm that brought laughter from the onlookers. Jessica's pulse quickened, the laughter mingling with the music, wrapping around her like a warm embrace. Their movements became freer, Eli twirling in the center, lost in his own world, while Jessica and the billionaire fell into sync, discovering the beautiful chaos of the moment together. As they danced, the lines between them blurred. It was a shared experience, a connection forged in spontaneity. But Jessica couldn't shake the deeper questions that loomed at the edges of her joy. What did this mean for them? Would this friendship linger after the sun set? Just as the song came to a vibrant finish, the moment hung in the air, a suspended reality, filled with all they hadn't said, all they hadn't explored. And then, as the wild laughter faded into soft applause, he turned to her, a serious look cresting his features. "I think we've just scratched the surface. There's so much more to uncover, together." Jessica felt the ground shift under her feet. What deeper truths awaited her in this connection? What paths might open up if she chose to embrace this new adventure? With the warmth of the crowd around them, a new chapter beckoned, and she found herself daring to breathe in the possibilities. Would she take the leap? As the crowd erupted into applause, Eli squeezed Jessica's hand tighter, his face glowing with joy. The music faded, but the warmth radiated from the gathering, the laughter spilling over like an endless stream. This was it. This was the moment they had all needed, joy erupting from raw connection and vulnerability. "Mom, did you see that? We danced with him." Eli couldn't contain his excitement, his eyes sparkling like stars in the twilight. In his innocent exuberance, Jessica found a flicker of her own hope. "Yes. You were amazing, buddy." She beamed, heart swelling as they shared this victory together. The billionaire stood nearby, arms crossed, observing with an aura of admiration mixed with intensity. Jessica took a breath, trying to ground herself amidst the swirling emotions and possibilities. He had seen them celebrate, free from the weight of judgment, and now she felt a shift within herself. "Jessica," the billionaire stepped closer, his voice steady yet filled with an unspoken depth. "You've created something beautiful tonight. Not just this painting but a real sense of community. You've shown everyone here what it means to connect, to embrace life fully." "That was the plan," she replied, unable to hide the nervousness lacing her words. "But it's not just about being the center of attention. It's about sharing joy, showing Eli that we can find happiness even in the most unexpected places." He nodded, eyes locked with hers, a silent understanding weaving between them. "I see the way you fight for him. You've done an amazing job, carrying your dreams on your shoulders while lifting him higher." Jessica felt her heart catch, a mixture of pride and gratitude swelling within her. "It's not always easy," she said honestly. "But moments like these make it worth everything. I want him to see the world as a place full of possibility." But what?" he asked gently, leaning in, as if ready to absorb her doubts. Jessica hesitated, glancing at Eli, who was now engrossed in showing a group of children how to paint. "What if this is just a dream? What if everything shifts back to normal after tonight? What if people remember us as just a moment of light in their lives?" "That's always a possibility," he responded, brow furrowed in thought. "But here's the truth, sometimes, the most fleeting moments leave the biggest impacts. You've already planted seeds of joy. You and Eli will grow from this experience." The words settled in her. She realized then that she could take each step forward with confidence, no matter how fleeting the moments appeared. "Do you really think so?" She found herself wanting validation, wanting to believe that there was more to come. "I don't just think it, I know it," he stated with conviction. "These interactions and this warmth resonate with people, it changes things. Look around, people connect in ways they didn't before because of you." Jessica scanned the crowd, taking in the people chatting, laughing, and cheering. She saw shared smiles emerging from the connection they had all just experienced. Maybe, just maybe, this would be a turning point for her, for Eli, and even for their complicated little town. "Okay," she said, a newfound spark igniting inside her. "Then let us keep this momentum going. Eli deserves so much more than being seen as different. He needs to embrace the world fully." The billionaire's eyes lit up. "Then let us build around those ideas. Let us plan events, bring art into more lives, create a space for connection for kids like Eli." Jessica felt her pulse quicken with excitement. "That sounds fantastic. But how? We'll start small. How about an art showcase here in your town? We'll invite the community and show the beauty everyone can share. There's potential everywhere, we just need to awaken it." "Yes. This is it." She realized, a flood of possibilities washing over her. Eli could help lead it. "We can make it interactive, the kids can bring their work, share their stories." "Exactly. You're onto something." As they bantered excitedly, laughter and ideas flowed, Jessica could barely contain the rush of optimism. Mom. Eli chimed in, racing toward them. Can I help paint the next one? I want everyone to create with us. Absolutely. She said, crouching down to wrap her arms around her son. This is just the beginning for all of us. With every heartbeat, the apprehension slipped away, replaced by a buoyancy that felt almost electric. This was more than just a second chance, it was a lifeline to potential fulfilled, friendships forged, and dreams embraced. As the sky turned a deeper shade of indigo, the crowd buzzed around them. The fairground shined, but so did their spirits, lighting the path ahead. Jessica looked to the billionaire one last time, grateful for his support. I can't wait to see what happens next. But just as much, you've inspired me to keep embracing the light. That night, as they left the fair, Eli resting in her arms, Jessica felt a flood of love envelop her. Sometimes, the greatest connections spark from vulnerability and courage. It was a new beginning not just for her, but for every person contained within the warmth of that bustling fairground. Together, they were ready to lead that charge, ready to uplift and connect. And just like that, under the starlit sky, destiny awaited them, each heartbeat echoing a hope that blossomed brightly, illuminating their path forward. This was their moment, and it was just the beginning. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending below. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. You need to subscribe now.